Welcome to my video tour of Richmore Village. This is a little neighborhood in Richmond that I didn't even know existed until I did an open house there recently. And I grew up in Richmond. I used to go to the library all the time as a kid, and I would play in Nickel Park, right next to Richmore Village, but I didn't know it was there because the neighborhood is really protected and kind of all by itself. You're going to hear from a neighbor that I talked to, and also you're going to see the neighborhood from my bicycle as I rode through the neighborhood videotaping it. Yeah, Richmore Village is very close to the Civic Center and St. Cornelius Church, not far from BART. It's got easy access to 580 and Highway 80. And of course, Nickel Park is very close by. Today I am talking to John Wood. What can you tell me about Richmore Village?
Well, I moved here during the early 1990s when my wife and I came from the military on the East Coast. One of the first things that I learned was that the neighborhood was laid out and the record map was filed with Contra Costa County for the Richmore Village Metropolitan Square neighborhood in 1917. The first houses were built in the neighborhood during the early 40s. Then there was a pause and construction resumed after the Second World War effort. All of the houses in the neighborhood are made of original California native redwood. They're all of them. I come to find, I've looked at several of the houses. They're all framed out of redwood. They're sided with redwood siding. The porches are built out of redwood, and that's a unique feature of this neighborhood. The neighborhood acts like a natural cul-de-sac. There's no access to the north, east, or south, bordered by McDonald Avenue, Nicole Park, and the BART tracks to the south. That controls the amount of transient traffic through the neighborhood. We would like to reforest the neighborhood. I understand that there's some limited funding available for that. It would have to be pursued. And we would also like to have PG&E do undergrounding, run the utilities underground. Right now, PG&E is in the process of replacing old poles. We're looking at, in the future of this neighborhood, we're looking at trying to get utilities underground and reforested are the two big ticket items right now for the neighborhood. It was a premier neighborhood for the city of Richmond. The mayor lived here. The chief of police lived here. Significant property owners lived here. It was built as a pilgrimage to the St. Cornelius Catholic Church on the corner of Broadway and McDonald Avenue. Everyone that lived in this neighborhood did all of their local grocery shopping within a couple blocks of the neighborhood, and everybody went to the Catholic pilgrimage on Sundays for Mass. The residents that live here are highly vested in the neighborhood and that they own these properties. There are a very low ratio of absentee owner rental income properties to occupied homeowner properties in a neighborhood, and that creates a great level of stability economically and socially in the neighborhood. Many of our residents have multiple generations where the parents live next door to their children, and their children's siblings have grown up. This is an enclave of security in the otherwise Richmond demographic, in that we don't have transient traffic through the neighborhood. It controls the number of homeless people, people that are on foot walking through the neighborhood, the number of automobile traffic driving through the neighborhood. So it's quiet and relatively safe. Several times I've left my car unlocked and found out the next day that everything's intact, you know. So that's a bit of a breath of fresh air that one can accidentally do that and everything would be okay. City Hall is within walking distance.
Yeah, and the library.
And the library is close by. Nicole Park is just across the property boundary from Richmore Village. So it's a great place to live in Richmond. If I was going to live in Richmond, which I do, I would live here, and I do.
Well, thank you so much, Mr. Wood.
You're quite welcome.